Good day to all the Web3 enthusiasts and followers of the Synopsis Summit. This is Max speaking. At Synopsis, we've been holding regular editions of our summit for over 3 years, but 2024 marks a pivot in our strategy. We're starting multiple ongoing content series where we invite some of our most favorite Web3 projects and discuss the exciting things they are up to. Great thing is that these new series are not tied to fixed Synopsis editions like before. For starters, we'd like to make them monthly happening, and if you like them, we could hold them more often. Today we start the series called Blockchain Innovation with Synopsis. We open it with our old friends and permanent Synopsis residents who build the most powerful altcoin out there. Please welcome Verasity, the benchmark setter in online ads, and their CMO, Elliot Hill. Hi, Elliot. How's it going?
Hey Max, really great to be here. Always love to join Synopsis for podcasts and events. And it's really great that you're entering your fourth year as well.
Great. So let's just get straight to the action and let's get our interview going. I have a list of 5 questions, but don't worry, guys. They are pretty much detailed, and I think that Elliot has a lot to say on it. So the first thing I would like to know if this is going to be Veracity's third bull market cycle in the industry. How is the industry landscape different this time?
Yeah, that's a really interesting question, and I think well, the first half of that question is Veracity has been around since 2017, which I think when you actually unpack that makes it probably one of the longest standing blockchain projects worldwide, I would imagine, other than some of the bigger protocols that we think about. Obviously Bitcoin's been around a lot longer, and obviously Veracity's been around for a lot longer than I've worked with Veracity. So I joined in 2022, and obviously it launched many years before that. And I myself have worked in crypto and blockchain since around 2017. At end of 2016, I really got involved. And so I guess it's not only Veracity's third bull cycle, but it's also mine. I like the positive thinking there that we are in a bull. I know it's still Bitcoin's still moving a little bit sideways, and I think a lot of people maybe thought that the ETF news would move the market a bit more, but obviously we're still coming up and still approaching the Bitcoin halving, and people are probably, and especially bigger investors, probably waiting to see what happens with that. In terms of Veracity, in terms of where we are, no matter what the cycle is, we always say at Veracity, so we're building B2B products, we're building B2B solutions. So no matter in what stage the wider Bitcoin or wider crypto, markets are, we still have that mandate of delivering our products. So our mandate this cycle, no matter what it is, bull, bear, crab market, where it moves sideways, it's always the same, and that's to deliver decentralized infrastructure for publishers and Web3 publishers. So in terms of where we are a little bit differently, perhaps in this new market cycle that we're going into, we are at a stage where we're now live with clients. We're at a growth stage. Pretty soon we're going to have some more news on the Veriview side in terms of growth and in terms of our focus there. Certainly, there's going to be a lot more of my time spent on Veriview's marketing, because Veriview's is at a point now where we're ready to scale. We're probably looking to build out more in terms of our communications in Veracity, but dedicated blockchain communications. But we're certainly in a stage now that in contrast to sort of the last market cycles where we're very much in a building mode and we're very much in a building stage, we're now at a stage where it's really about scaling and onboarding clients. So we have all the components there ready to use. We have an ad stack ready to use, and we have our video programmatic ecosystem. And it's really about taking that from the first few publishers and expanding that to many other publishers through scaling up our business and commercial operations.
Perfect. Thank you. Detailed as always. So expanding is like the main trend for now. So the second question is that on the website of Veracity, on the homepage, we can see that Veracity is the new standard. Do you consider creating a new industry association for blockchain-powered advertising? It seems like a logical step since your company is the key patent holder.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have on the website, it says the new standard in transparency, the new standard in accountability, and the new standard in auditability. And that is predominantly focused on the Veriview ad stack and on the advertising side of things. So we have a few different product verticals, but our key product vertical to anyone who's new to Veracity is our video programmatic ad stack. So essentially, we are a video programmatic provider. So video programmatic ads are ads that are shown on video, on any video playback across the web. Personally, we work direct with publishers, so publishers who are hosting and playing their own content rather than going to platforms like YouTube or Twitch. But essentially, we that is our core product. We make transparent infrastructure and a transparent ad stack for publishers. So what does that mean? What is transparency in advertising? So we talk about this a lot, and we talk about how blockchain can enhance transparency, how it can enhance auditability, and how it can enhance accountability. There are many industries on earth that don't particularly need that. They don't need that level of access and decentralized access to data that blockchain provides. But advertising, specifically programmatic advertising, is one of those industries that really stands to benefit from this open and transparent ledger of transactions. And that's because the world of programmatic and how programmatic works is very similar to sort of traditional financial trading infrastructure. So at any given time, when you go to a website and you're served an advert, that advert's based on a number of characteristics that you as a consumer have sort of left a trail of during your time of browsing the internet, usually via cookies. But obviously, as we know, cookies are in the process of being depreciated, and Google are rolling them back. But usually you leave a trail of what your interests are, your general location. If, say, for instance, if you're looking for a new car and you leave this trail on the internet, when you arrive at a publisher's website and you go to watch a video, in an instant split second, there will be advertisers using advertising networks to bid for the right to serve you an advert. So just like on financial stock exchanges and these sorts of things, where there is an incredibly high execution and turnover of transactions, we're having the same thing programmatically. That's why it's called programmatic ecosystem. All of this is happening in a split second in the background for advertisers to bid for the right on an advertising waterfall to show you a video, to show you an advert on that video. Unfortunately, because it's quite a lucrative business and it's quite an automated and lucrative industry, there are many thousands of intermediaries in this supply chain. So people who serve ads, people who track ads or show ads to you. We've got demand side platforms and supply side platforms, and all these intermediaries in between. And at any one point, there is a single, there's a risk of fraud, and there's a risk of failure of that system. So what often happens is that fraudsters find way to either artificially inflate ad views, so they're essentially stealing money from brands who are paying for their ad to be shown, or they can be people who are trying to rip off the actual publisher. So they're spoofing publishers' websites, or they're making duplicate ad content to run in the background, and all these different kinds of ad fraud. And money has been lost out of this system, and it's very sophisticated, organized criminality, and it's done at a large scale. So where Veracity steps in is that we provide at the player level anti-fraud technology, so we can detect fake views, we can detect bots, we can detect things like pixel stuffing and domain spoofing, and we essentially record this data in a transparent way. And to bring it back to your question, you know, what is that new standard? That standard is storing this data about ad fraud and transparency, transparently on the blockchain, so that all ecosystem participants can see a true record of what's happened during that advertising campaign.
Perfect. So the new standard is more than a reasonable title for you. So
Mhm.
this looks like a game changer for the ads industry. And okay, continuing our dialogue. So recently, Veracity received a patent for content stake via blockchain. How is this system fundamentally different from content delivery networks we know?
Yeah, so the content state via blockchain is a slightly different patent that we sort of set in motion a couple of years ago. So we were looking at the applications of proof of view beyond what it's already used for the video programmatic ecosystem. So proof of view is our technology module, our patented technology module that sits within VeraViews as an ad stack, and it prevents fraud. And that's what interacts with all the other ad fraud detection modules in our system, and it's what pushes that data to the blockchain of VeraChain, which is where we store the advertising campaign data. And we were looking for, or our developers rather, I'm not nearly smart enough to look for applications for proof of view, but they were looking for other applications for proof of view. And it was at a time where NFTs and content stake platforms, so NFT marketplaces or games that have NFTs or anywhere that has an NFT or sort of a digital asset in it. It was at a time where fraud for NFTs was particularly rife. So we had a lot of duplicate NFT collections being minted. These would either rip off original artwork, or they would simply take a whole NFT collection, mint it on a different blockchain, and they would sell that to unsuspecting users who weren't getting a true, you know, one of the original NFTs. This was a real problem. It still is a problem, but you know, we looked at ways where we could have proof of view as a module built in with some kind of programmability built in, to actually verify, give each NFT a unique identifier above and beyond that it would have as being minted on the blockchain, and verify that it was the original NFT, and then have that sort of as a gold standard for, you know, NFT verification. Going beyond that, and where that's sort of evolved from, is how can we take that verification and apply it to many different I guess hard to ascribe values from websites and from publishers and from still in NFTs and with digital marketplaces and this sort of thing. So how do we prove, for example, or how do we ascribe a true value to the amount of traffic a website gets, or how do we verify the overall portion of bot traffic that a website is getting, and these sorts of things. So the content stake and the proof of you know, paying for content stake by blockchain, it is primarily born out of that those early discussions about how can we verify NFTs and how can we verify the marketplaces where those digital assets are being sold. So is the marketplace legitimate? Do they have legit traffic? Are there bots buying and selling assets on that marketplace? And how can we implement proof of view in that process? So although the market's moved on a little bit from that patent is still important, because it now allows us to explore other applications for proof of view beyond its current patents, which deals predominantly with advertising fraud and ad traffic. We can now take that as a module and as a piece of technology and look for other applications. Whether that will be one of our core focus areas in the next year, probably this is on a longer scale because we have, we have more of a mandate to deliver on Veriviews. And we also have our rewarded video patent as well. So this was a patent that we announced I think around a year ago now, but we had a full US patent for rewarded video. So anyone watching a video that receives a reward, be that, tokens or be it some kind of in-game currency or item, we now have quite a broad patent for that in the USA. So that's also something that we're going to be looking at into getting license fees for, and building out with select publishers who are interested to do so as well. So those two things, proof of view and rewarded video, are probably, I would say, more in our crosshairs at the moment. But then we're going to look at how this content staked via blockchain and this verification layer could be added in down the line to the ecosystem that we're building.
Great. So just in a very short period of time, I just 100% believe in the words about the new standard of the proof of view. So very interesting. Thank you. And moving on to the next question. Verasity has been focused on the business side of things. However, you do have a massive follower base, really massive. Will we see real life events for Verasity community?
Yeah, so we're definitely looking to get to more events this year. We announced at the beginning of last year, and this year is going fast. It's hard to believe that January is over already. But the end, sorry, of 2023, we announced the launch of Vera Ads. So Vera Ads is basically a new service from Veracity that is looking to help Web3 publishers and Web3 brands monetize their traffic, monetize their communities, and monetize their content through traditional means like video programmatic. So Web3 as an industry has grown incredibly fast, and there's loads of innovation happening in Web3. But I think sometimes Web3 companies, because they're moving so much at the forefront of what can be done and what's possible, forget that there's other more traditional ways to either monetize their ecosystems, monetize their publications, or monetize parts of their community through through video programmatic. So one of the ways that we think we can do this is through Vera Ads, which will be a service that basically evangelizes to Web3 providers. Look, you have loads of video content, you have a big community. Did you know that you can monetize that? You could start earning money from ads. And we're going to be a lot more industry events, so crypto industry events as Vera Ads. That's something that we haven't done previously. We've been there as Veracity, but Veracity doesn't really have a set product to take to market in terms of what we actually go into these conferences and real life events for. Is it purely networking, which does have a value, but it'd be better if we had some ROI from going to those events. So Vera Ads is going to be able to do that. We're also, obviously, we still have all of the events that we have planned on the Vera Views side. So Vera Views is its own standalone business, essentially. And we go to a number of events in each year for that. So we have Cannes Lion that we always go to. There's De Mexico, which is in Cologne. Those are the two really big marketing events, and also a number of regional events. So definitely we're looking to be in person and discussing more about what we're doing at in-person events in 2024.
Perfect. So looking forward to meeting your team somewhere in the world. And the last question for today, it's also connected with the community. So what are going to be the top developments of 2024 on the business side and on the community side for Veracity?
Sure, yeah. So on the business side, as I think we've already probably covered a little bit, but for Veriviews, it's all about scaling up, building out a bigger publisher base. We also have, if you check out our roadmap, which is on our website, you'll see that a lot of our milestones this year are to do with Veriviews features and functionality. This was born out of early feedback that we got from sort of the first publishers using our ad stack, who want to see these other features such as dedicated content libraries, dedicated video player capabilities, so that we have even more integration options, and all these other sort of I would say miscellaneous user upgrades, user oriented upgrades to VeraViews. So that's very important because it'll allow us to compete more effectively with the existing solutions in the space, so the existing ad stacks in the space. Obviously, we have what we believe is an edge through proof of view and that patented technology, and our ability to do things transparently, but we also need to make sure at the same time that all of our other components are equal to, if not better than, existing solutions. So that's going to be a big focus in 2024. It's definitely a key focus. I know that on the crypto side of things and on the blockchain side of things, it may appear that VeraViews gets a lot of development, but that's because it's the most important part of our commercial strategy and commercial roadmap. So those upgrades to VeraViews are very important for 2024. And then on the blockchain side of things, we are, and I guess by extension on the community side, obviously the biggest milestone this year is going to be our plans for proof of view. So we have the proof of view tokens. We did a community consultation where we discussed a migration or a movement or a separation of these proof of view tokens from the main Veracity contract. So our CTO, Sergey, he recently co-authored an article on our Medium, which you can read on our Medium, about what this is going to look like, how we're going to move these to a new new chain, proof of view tokens on new chain with its own smart contract that will be audited, and these tokens, are going to be separate from the VRA main supply. And that's obviously a hugely important milestone, but it also enables us, and one of the reasons why we're keen to do this right and we're keen to do it methodically, it also enables us to introduce new functionality to proof of view. So right now, proof of view is it's functional, but it's quite a monolithic sort of piece of tech. So it sends data to and from a blockchain. So it sends advertising stack data from our advertising campaigns to the blockchain and enables us to store data transparently. That's great, and it's a really good piece of functionality, but there are many more. There's much more utility we could add to proof of view, which is why we are taking the time, to do this separation in a methodical way. We're exploring different use cases for proof of view tokens. One of those could be enabling people to boost our chain capacity, so our capacity to process transactions by lending their computing power, essentially decentralized computing power. This would help us scale up. So, at the moment, proof of view is suitable for our needs, but if we have many publishers in the future who want to use our ad stack, and they're all doing, large advertising campaigns, we're going to need a lot of scalability. So some functionality that would enable people to give their computing power in a decentralized way in exchange for some reward could be something that we look to build in to the proof of view ecosystem. So all of that's in that article by Sergey. So if you've been following us for a while and you haven't yet read that article, do go ahead and read it. It does explain why the proof of view separation process has been, quite a complex process that we're keen to get right over time. But that is the most important aspect for the community, I would say, and that's something that we continue to work on pretty tirelessly, and our devs are really focused on making that happen.
Great, thanks for the insights, Elliot. So I think everyone who is not too much familiar should go and learn more about proof of view tokens. Actually, so will I do. That's actually all questions for today. Thank you very much. It was very insightful. The coming market cycle is going to be huge for Veracity. What I would like to outline in the outro, is that Verasity has more followers than some leading exchanges and many second-tier exchanges, and it could be a shocker for those who are unfamiliar with what you guys do, but we know that this is for a reason. We are always excited to follow your updates on social media. Veracity works the hardest and delivers the most. It's a pleasure to have you as our guest, and this was the first episode of Blockchain Innovation with Synopsis. Thank you very much for joining in.
Thanks, Max, and thanks, Synopsis. It was really great.
Looking forward to meeting you again.